Today I'm going to show you how every click starts before your ad even appears. Your audience is already feeling something. Frustration, uncertainty, boredom, the quiet sense that they're falling behind. Well, your ad doesn't create that emotion. It either connects to it or gets ignored. And this is where most advertisers get it wrong. They try to introduce a new desire, but human behavior doesn't work like that, guys. If your ad isn't plugging into an existing emotional routine, it will always feel like an interruption. And when you know, it feels obvious. So stick around, guys. We're going to get into it today. So guys, by the end of today, you will learn the real difference between internal and external triggers, why your meta ads might fail more than you think, and a practical framework to test your ads against emotional alignment. So guys, grab your covers and grab your hat. It's time to spin up some ad magic. Woo! Okay guys, so let's define this clearly. Some psychology. So an internal trigger is the feeling that comes before an action. That feeling before the click, okay? Internal triggers are things like, I feel behind, I feel overwhelmed, I'm unsure if I'm doing this correctly, am I wasting my money? And they repeat, right? Weekly, sometimes daily, which is very different to the external triggers, okay? Which is simply the cues that attach to that emotion. Your ads, a notification, let's say a Google search, a recommendation. But here's the important part, guys, okay? External triggers only work if they attach to internal ones. Otherwise, it just feels really random. And this is why some ads can feel pushy. They're trying to introduce desire instead of attaching to something that already exists. Guys, before we get into this, I just want to show and introduce you to the ad persona tool that we have built that does everything that we're going to be talking through in this video for you, okay? You can use it for free. Click the link down below. Everything that we're going to be going through today is covered in that tool, completely free. Click the link down below to access it. But let's get into it, guys. If you want to build and work this out for yourself, feel free to do so, okay? And you can use this methodology. Okay, now guys, I'm going to go through some platform differentiations. It also plays into behavioral emotions, okay? So Google operates a high emotional activation. What does that mean? Well, when somebody searches, let's say lower my cost per acquisition, that internal trigger is already conscious. They feel the pain, okay? They're looking for relief, okay? And as I have mentioned in past videos, what it does is it taps into that evolutionary psychology, because to our very core, we have a loss avoidance within our psychology, okay? And as I've mentioned with other videos, if you're tapping into that emotion, you can't just go into fear without also presenting a solution. That causes paralysis, okay? We want to couple fear with the alleviation and the solution, okay? The relief to that fear. That's what helps sell here, right? So Google ads can be direct, okay? Now Meta is different, guys. Nobody opens up Instagram and expects to buy, let's say, like accounting software. Now relax, scrolling, distracted. Which means on Meta, you need to generally activate a dormant emotion, a dormant trigger. Google solves, Meta awakens. That's a good way to look at it, guys. Now, here are some different hooks to illustrate this example, okay? Look at this, the feature-led hooks. Look at the difference, okay? The first one, they just inform. The second one attaches itself to that emotion. So feature-led for an accounting tool, for example, track expenses in one dashboard. The emotional-led hook, okay, the 10x hook, still stressed at tax time. One is logical, track expenses in one dashboard. The other resonates with an existing emotional routine. Late night doubt, metrics not moving, worry. The ad isn't creating a new desire. It's stepping into that emotional loop that already exists in the customer's mind. And ultimately, if you can't clearly identify the emotional routine that the ad is attached to, it's probably interrupting, okay? Not activating. Guys, like I said, we do have a tool, okay? But if you're wanting to figure this out right now, the simplest way to test your next hook, guys, is not to ask what features should I be highlighting. You should be asking these questions. When does the problem show up in their life? What emotion is present? Does that emotion repeat itself? Because ultimately, if you can tap into that reoccurring emotion is what builds reliable conversions, not clever copy, okay? You're building your ads around your customer. You're tapping into their psychology, guys, okay? If you want highly resonant ads, highly recommend doing this, okay? And as a starter, like I said, you can ask some of these questions to create some basic initial hooks. I just wanted to show you this, guys, because I wanted to show you how every click follows this loop. It starts from internal discomfort to being presented by the ad, to clicking on the ad, to being presented with that relief. If your ad skips that first step, guys, this internal trigger step, the loop breaks and your performance could be dropping as a result. And like I keep saying, guys, ads don't create desire. Successful ones attach themselves to existing emotional tension. And once you understand that, your creative stops being guesswork and it becomes super customer aligned to the way they're thinking and feeling. Ultimately, this creates better ads and moves the bottom line for your business. Hit me a comment down below if you got any questions. And guys, now as a little interactive piece, okay, we're going to go through the Meta Ads library. Now I'm going to show you why we can see why 90% of ads can feel really annoying. This one here, for example, okay, if you've ever wanted to get paid for your writing, here's exactly how to do it. And your first copywriting client, get the course. This is tapping in to the hope and aspirational emotional driver. However, it's not tapping into that emotional internal trigger, okay? Have ever wanted to get paid for your writing? Now that we have an understanding how this works, what else could we write here instead, guys? Do you ever wanted to get paid for your writing? An internal emotional trigger of somebody who's worried maybe about not finding enough work whilst being a copywriter. You could type in here, worried and stressed, waking up at night, thinking about how your writing is going to pay the bills. This is an internal trigger, okay? What they're doing here is just talking about how to do it and etc., right? It doesn't build into those internal, external triggers that I'm talking about, guys. Okay, let's have another look through here. Here, for example, is another very interesting hook. Okay.
One of the reasons my ads perform so well.
One of the reasons that my ads perform so well, again, is tapping into that hope and aspiration, okay, emotional decision driver, and a little bit of belonging, okay? You feel like you're getting the same results as other people. But guys, in this particular instance as well, we can see how Ask Harriet has not tapped in to that internal and external trigger, guys. There is no emotional attachment. It references frustration, okay, and the fear of missing out. But the better hook here, guys, I think could be, and this would be worth testing, could be around anchoring it to this overwhelm, right? The overwhelming feeling, the internal emotional overwhelm of knowing that the thing that you are selling is going to relieve that emotional internal overwhelm, right? Okay, so don't forget, guys, keep it really conversational, okay? Always keep it conversational. You never need to over-explain things. And what this does is it will build some authority naturally, okay, psychologically speaking. As we can see here from the Miami Ad School, and they're talking very much no more boring work. Okay, they're very much feature heavy, okay? What can you expect? Your creative career starts on day one. You know, this doesn't talk to the emotions, guys, okay? We're talking about functionality, okay? Come a copywriter apply today. Make brands slay, okay? Cool. Sounds great. But if you want these ads to have additional conversion power, guys, you need to harmonize with the internal and external psychological emotional trigger, okay? Here is another example, okay? These are the best AI agency assisted models, okay? You're talking about functions, okay? You're talking about what it is. This isn't the emotional, internal, external triggers that I'm talking about, okay, guys? And this is what I mean. If you're talking about that function, this is not a good emotional hook that is going to aid your conversion. So comment down below if you got the question. It's like I've said, if you want to access the Ad Wizard Ad Persona tool for free, click the link down below, guys. There's a waitlist, and those who join the waitlist will get exclusive access to this tool first. Click the link down below to signal your intent of interest and to get exclusive access. Thank you so much for all the support. And that's it for today, guys. Hopefully now you have some tips and tricks as to what you can do to ensure that your ads psychologically are resonating with your customer emotions. I'm your boy Jerry the Ad Wizard. You can catch me on LinkedIn at Jerry Griffiths, on X and Instagram at Jerry Ad Wizard, and at Jerry Dreadlocks everywhere else. Now to watch a video on how we build really simple and basic customer personas. Click this video over here where I go through a step-by-step process on how we do that. Thank you so much, guys. I'm your boy Jerry the Ad Wizard, and wherever you are in the world, I bid you peace and love and a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.